If spirituality is supposed to be full of happiness, joy, and abundance, why is it that spiritual awakening always brings a ton of emotional baggage and spiritual purging? If you've ever felt yourself overwhelmed by a flood of emotions on your spiritual journey, you've probably asked yourself, is this normal? Am I doing something wrong? I've been there too, many times, and questioning and doubting myself and feeling so confused. Today, I want to reassure you it's okay to feel this way. For me, I struggled with this for years. In fact, as crazy as this sounds, I thought I was doing spirituality all wrong. I mean, how can you do it wrong, right? So I felt like I needed to be a Buddhist monk or something. And every day I would set these spiritual goals for myself, trying to be that which sounds crazy to me because we are told that we are already everything we need. We are already spiritual beings. So why was I trying to do that? It's because I was watching all of these YouTube videos, I was reading all of these books, and everybody seemed to just have it so together. Like, nothing was going wrong in their life. They were having this major, abundant, joy, happy life where it made me feel like, why am I not like that? And I really didn't understand it at all. And I searched online. I was like, why is this happening? I felt like I must be the only one going through it, which felt very lonely, confusing, and really made me feel quite down, which is the opposite of how I wanted to feel on a spiritual journey. Like, imagine thinking your life was going to get insanely good, only for it to get worse because of all the emotional baggage that came up. Maybe you felt the same way. If you have, I know how it feels, and I know how frustrating it can feel. It can feel like you thought one thing, that your life was going to go a certain way, and then it did a 180 turn, should I say, and went the whole different way, and you can feel worse off than when you first started your spiritual journey, which is just mind-blowing, and not many people talk about this stuff. I started to wonder to myself, these spiritual people, are they putting it on? Are they really having all this success, this joy and abundance, and living this happy life that they are portraying online? I had a realization though. It wasn't until after I did this online course about pursuing your purposeful time that is run by Victor Otto and Aaron Doughty. If you're in the spiritual community, you probably know them really, really well. And in this course, Victor, or Vic as he likes to be called, shared that he had also felt this way. And he also said that there were things that would come up again and again, and that this was going to be a cycle. And what Vic shared was that when you start trying to pursue your purpose, you start going down the path of spirituality in the way that you want to help people, use your spiritual talents and passions, that all of this stuff would come up. First of all, I was like, well, thank the Lord that I'm not the only person who's felt this way. And I realized I had so many things that I really needed to heal, and that all of this stuff was coming up for a purpose. So maybe there are things that you need to heal, that although it hurts and it feels like you're living traumas all over again, there's a reason that they're coming up. Are they coming up so that you can purge out all of the emotions and get rid of that once and for all, instead of kind of reliving the same patterns in your life over and over, because that's what happened to me. Stuff would come up that I thought I had kind of got over a long, long time ago, and it would happen one at a time. So something would come up. For example, I realized I hadn't been expressing how I felt, or how this family trauma that had happened 11 years ago. I've been carrying this around for 11 years, that my throat chakra was definitely blocked because I hadn't kind of shared how it had made me feel to that person. And what I'd done is I'd actually attached myself to the energy of that family member. I tried to take responsibility of their life, or feel responsible for them in general. I actually felt responsible for their happiness. And I realized that had been weighing me down so insanely that it's all I could actually think about in here. And I've been doing it for years. And you know what? It had become familiar. It had become safe to do that because I had built up this habit. And the best thing that happened to me was actually having all of this stuff and purging it out. So I spoke to that family member and I told her what I'd been feeling. And she told me, what do you mean? You're not responsible for me. Let that go. And slowly, I did. It didn't happen overnight, if I'm being honest. Because when you've built up a habit to try and protect yourself, and that you felt was keeping you safe, without realizing it, it's hard to let that habit go. It's hard to get rid of it. But as I started to let it go, I felt so much lighter. And guess what happened as a result of that? She started to have more abundance in her life, which is what I'd always wanted for her. So think about that. I'd been holding on to her energy, perhaps holding her back. And now opportunities, better life events, great things that hadn't happened in a long time for her are now happening and have continued to happen, which has just kind of blown my mind, because I'm like, was I the cause of that? But it's not that I think about that or anything. I'm just very happy for the way that's turned out. And guess what? Now I can focus on my own energy. And, I can actually have opportunities come into my life that weren't present before as well. So this has happened a few times in a few different circumstances. Maybe going through your spiritual journey, you've felt the same and things have come up, and maybe you've beat yourself up about it like I did. Maybe you've thought, God, I'm doing this wrong. This isn't right. And maybe you've gotten so emotional about it, and it's felt very raw, just like as if it was happening for the first time again, which is what happened to me. But you know what will happen if you let it go? If you think to yourself, just let it take its course, it'll get better. You'll feel lighter and lighter, more and more every time, like I did. The problem is that a lot of people in the spiritual community aren't sharing this. I'm sure there are people that I haven't found that have shared it, but for me, it felt like I was something I was lost with for a long time. I felt like I need to push these emotions down rather than let them out, otherwise I wasn't doing them. I wasn't doing it right, should I say. But actually, I discovered that suppressing these emotions was like drowning myself. The longer people stay under the water drowning themselves with emotions, the longer they can't come up for air, which means they can't make room for growth, which is why I felt stuck for so damn long. Looking back, it was ridiculous. I mean, I'm saying that because it's about myself, but I could have had an easy fix for this if I'd seen it sooner. But then again, things happen for a reason so that you can learn and upgrade yourself, which is definitely one of the themes for 2025, in my opinion. So if people avoid letting go of past traumas and don't allow themselves to heal from them, not only are they allowing similar energies to be attracted back into their life, like me, but they are not making room for growth or for any abundance to come in. The more emotional baggage that was in my way, the less abundant I was. And every time I let go of more of it, every time I allow myself to purge it out, the more opportunities come to me. And actually, one really big blessing from all of this is the more creative I become. I'm making room for creativity, for video ideas, for how I can expand my business, for these things that bring me so much joy and I'm really passionate about. From holding on to all that emotional baggage, I certainly wasn't allowing for these things. But let me tell you this, without trying to put a downer on all of it, there is light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. But what I've learned is there will always be more to heal and more to let go of, because this is the roller coaster of life, as you know. If you can learn to recognize it faster, heal from it, and make room for more, the more abundance, joy, and happiness will flow into your life. If you're here, we all know that a spiritual journey is not easy. And for sure, it is the road less taken, which is why you're probably watching this video. But allowing this flow of energy to come in, and then letting it build up, letting it explode, and then letting it back out of your life will and can set you free. If you want to know how to let go of toxic relationships forever, I've made a video, which I'll put here, about one shift that you can make, a very powerful one, that can finally set you free from those people who are holding you back. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope it's helped. See you in the next one. Bye.